What looks to be a triangle UFO with a pulsating core was recorded over Ontario in Canada.
It's just hovering in place. What is that? Look at the lights all around it. It's just hovering in place. What is that? Look at the lights all around it.
Apparently recorded in 2009, this night vision footage shows what looks to be a triangle or V-shaped object flying through the night sky. Next is some remarkable footage captured by an unknown witness at an unknown location. It begins with the individual in his shed getting his camera ready, likely after noticing the object. What follows is, in my opinion, some of the closest detailed footage we've had of this craft. What looks like a triangular-shaped object, or objects flying in a triangular-shaped formation, was recorded on a doorbell camera flying over England. On March 13, 1997, thousands of people witnessed what was said to be a giant V-shaped craft flying through the night sky of Arizona. Multiple reports described the craft as silent, slow-moving, and unlike anything seen before. Its enormous body apparently blotted out the stars behind it. Though the videos of the sighting were compelling, the low-quality cameras weren't able to pick up anything more than the lights on the object. The U.S. military would later claim the lights were simply flares dropped during a routine training exercise at the Barry Goldwater Range. But for many who saw the craft with their own eyes, the explanation never quite fit. A common argument made is that the flares came after the initial sighting, and that the real reason they were used was to run cover for what actually happened. Decades later, the Phoenix Lights remain one of the most well-documented, widely witnessed, and hotly debated UFO events in modern history. Lights in a triangular-shaped formation are recorded flying over Brooklyn, New York. Recorded from a doorbell camera, 3 lights float over Sunrise, Florida, as more or less an equilateral triangle before separating. What is assumed to be the same event by a different witness was also captured. By speeding the footage up, the synced and fluid motion between the objects becomes even more apparent. It almost looks like they are attached together in some way. They make almost a perfect rotation together as one. Whistleblower Matthew Brown may have leaked these images of a triangular craft he had access to during his time on the Immaculate Constellation project. The images are still unconfirmed and should be taken with a grain of salt. For those that are unfamiliar, the Immaculate Constellation is an alleged secret U.S. Department of Defense program focused on unidentified anomalous phenomena. The story gained traction this week when Matthew exposed a lot of information related to the project.
You've worked in secret programs. You've got clearances. You've made oaths that you would keep secrets. Shouldn't it be secret to some degree? I mean, we have, there's a race for the technology to try to understand it. We have adversary nations who'd love to get it ahead of us. Why not keep this stuff secret?
This isn't just technology. This isn't something somebody came up with in a lab. Fundamentally, this comes from and is secondary to what we've been told is the biggest question, which is humanity alone? The answer is no.
A triangular-shaped object was recorded flying over Brazil. It's hard to tell from the footage, but it appears to be flying with a flat side at the front and the point at the rear, kind of like it's flying in reverse. August 2023. A triangle-shaped formation appears in the skies above Disneyland. The witness's testimony goes as follows. I took this video when I was at Disneyland last month. It popped up out of nowhere when the show at Small World started. It is interesting because during that show they have tons of lasers and lights that beam up into the sky. I know it's not that insane of a video. It's just 3 lights. But the recent triangle video reminded me of it. Though I don't think what we are seeing here looks anything like a light show, I thought the statement was worth adding. 2008, England. A couple capture a black triangle hovering in the skies over a road.
It's not even there.
Alan, don't lie.
I'm not chatting with you.
You obviously got it in the wrong place.
No, it's not there. Is that it? What the f*** is that?
Everyone's looking at it. I think it may be an advertising board. Have you got it on there?
What is that?
Have you got it on there?
Yeah.
Maybe it might be like a satellite, or...
No.
Stabilizing the footage, we can see the object appear to rotate in place. A V-shaped craft flies silently over Los Angeles. A very short video here, only 3 seconds in total, but great footage. The witness testimony goes as follows. I was laying down on my back at night messing with my camera exposure. I wanted to see if I could find the North Star in the nasty smog-lit sky of LA. I barely saw the stars as usual. Eventually I got the star exposure just right. Then out of the corner of my eye, I saw something zipping by super fast out of frame. Not exactly a triangle, but I thought it was close enough and far too interesting not to add. This footage is believed to show the Telos, a rumored government black project aircraft that officially doesn't exist. Virtually nothing concrete is known about it, so most of what you'll hear is pure speculation. According to claims, it is capable of vertical takeoff, can reportedly operate in outer space, and features a unique underbelly that mimics the night sky to help it blend in as camouflage. An aircraft that often gets mentioned when triangular UFOs are brought up is the B-2 stealth bomber. It probably does account for some of the UFO cases we hear about, and you can kind of see why. Whilst its shape is very distinctive, in certain situations, say maybe at night, and from a distance, it could quite easily look a little more mysterious. That said, it's not hard to separate B-2 sightings from genuinely unexplained cases. Despite its stealth design, the B-2 is still a noisy aircraft. It lacks lights on the underside, apart from a few dim ones used during landing, and it can't hover. All of these characteristics make it a poor match for any of the UFOs featured in this compilation. One of the things we try to do on this channel is separate the legitimate sightings from the fakes. That's not to say we always get it right, but we do our best to feature only what we believe could be genuine. As technology advances and new methods of image manipulation emerge, fake content becomes more widespread and increasingly harder to spot. Take this sighting, for example. I'll let you watch it first before we break it down. See if you can notice the slip-up.
Hey, listen, yo, check this out, yo. I see something in the sky, yo. I'm telling you. Hold on. Yo, check this out. No BS, man. This is right here in the middle of the road. Like, I'm driving down the road here. Look, this is my car right here. No BS, yo. No BS. This thing is in the road, in the sky right there, in front of me. The car probably see it too. No BS, yo. That thing is in the sky. Look, look. Look, y'all. I want to know if the car see it. Is this thing turning? Listen, I'm telling y'all. I'm in my car now. I got on my blinking lights. I want to know if that car see it. Or that car probably don't know what's going on. This thing is right there. Am I tripping and I'm the only one seeing this thing? This thing is in the sky just sitting there turning. That's a pyramid. Listen, y'all can't see it like I can see it. It look like a pyramid. For real. Let me zoom in. That thing is, hold on, how could I zoom in? Let's see what it is.
At first glance, it seems incredibly convincing. The man's seemingly authentic reaction, the rough, spontaneous footage, the appearance of the UFO, everything pointed toward it being real. But then, an eagle-eyed viewer noticed something odd around the 105 mark in the video. If you look closely as the object nears the top of the screen, you can see it clip out of frame. This glitch is a known issue of an app called U.F.O. Camera, which allows users to overlay UFOs into live footage. This, mixed with people's thirst for TikTok views, led to the trend going pretty viral a couple of years back, with many less convincing iterations popping up all over the place. For those of us who are genuinely interested in real UFO footage, it can be pretty annoying, but it just means we have to be extra vigilant when looking at sightings and be aware of the ways hoaxers will try and fool us.
Ray!
What?
I got it on my phone. I got it on my phone. I got it on my phone. I got it on my phone.
She got it on the phone.
Oh my god, is that video?
Yes.
Ray, zoom in. Like, use your fingers.
Oh, no way.
Oh.
No way, Kayla!
Like, use your fingers.
Oh, no way.
Oh.
No way, Kayla!
This next triangle is a reoccurring sighting that appears over the city of Shanghai whenever it is cloudy or foggy. But as exciting as it looks, all is not as it seems. What's actually happening is a shadow from the triangular-shaped building below is being cast up into the sky. The building has strong spotlights around its edges, and whenever the conditions are right, its outline can be seen in the mist, giving the illusion that something is ominously sitting up there. Ever so often, a passerby will notice it and post it online thinking they've caught something big. The channel Burbex actually made a great video on the whole thing. He went around the area it was sighted and even interviewed some of the locals in an attempt to get to the bottom of it. I recommend you go and check out his video if you'd like to see the full investigation, but essentially, they figured out what we just went over. One of the locals that is familiar with the occurrence explains it all and has some pictures on his phone of the building in question. Here's a close-up showing what happens on a cloudy night. Only one side's lighting is turned on, and that's why you don't see the full triangle. Here's the same phenomenon happening on some different buildings, and an example of it happening on the Statue of Liberty. The reason I'm sharing with you these sightings that have been proven to be fake is because I want you to see some of the cases I've investigated and ruled out, along with the evidence behind why I have determined this. I like to be as transparent as possible with my vetting process. I feel it's better to do this than just not include them at all and leave the viewer wondering why a certain sighting wasn't in here, and then potentially seeing the sighting in the future and thinking it's real. Back in 2006, Belgrade, Serbia. It happened at somewhere around midnight. There were 3 of us lying on kind of improvised deck chairs. We were on the flat rooftop of his home. We were just lying on our backs and talking, inadvertently looking at the sky. At some point, a black triangular shape started to appear to my left, over the neighboring house roof. I remember vividly how slow it was. It took a second or two until the entire craft was visible. It was approximately the size of an average house in length and 10 to 15 meters above our heads by my rough estimate. I had trouble estimating the actual height, but it took up a fairly large field of view. I did not say a word. I don't know why. I guess it was because I was so transfixed. I remember thinking I should be telling them, but I didn't. One of my friends then yelled, "Look at that! Look at that!" It was only then that I responded with, "Yes, I see it." My other friend was pretty confused, until he saw it as well. We all then jumped out of our seats, and by this point it was virtually above us. We stood and watched in absolute shock. It moved so slowly, no sound and no details on it. I remember trying my best to pick up any details on its surface, but nothing. Just a dark silhouette. Perhaps the only reason we saw it in the first place was because the night sky was dark blue and brighter than the object itself. Its surface was so dark, no reflection, no nothing. No lights on it, just a dark triangle. It went in a straight line, same slow speed, until we lost sight of it. I didn't notice any height in its shape once it started distancing itself. I don't know if it was completely flat, I'm just saying I couldn't notice it. Here's a 3D rendering I did recently. It is very close to how we saw it that night. The only difference is that the sky was darker. A triangular-shaped object flies silently over a location in Canada in the early evening. The flashing aviation lights indicate that the object is highly likely to be terrestrial in origin.
From here, it looks like a triangle.
It is a triangle with a red light in the middle.
Wow. Wow, that's a weird looking craft.
It is. The red light is right in the center of the triangle. Now this is where you need to zoom in.
There's something right beside us here. There's stuff moving in the bushes beside us.
That is amazing.
It didn't have a tail, that's what I know.